Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Abu Abdullah and I have been working as a lecturer in English at Panchrukhi Begum Anowara Degree College, Arai Hajar, Narayanganj. Today I will discuss a nice topic, that is punctuation mark, and it's very important in English. And before going to my class, I would like to say something, and I would like to request everybody to join with me and enjoy my class. Actually, and giving an introduction, I will jump into my class. Actually, while speaking, we sometimes take a pause or change a tone or even make gestures so that the expression is clearer to the listener. Actually, in English, in writing, we use some symbols to make a pause, tone or gesture in favor of clearer expression to the readers. These symbols are called punctuation mark. You can see punctuation marker is 5 marks, and there are 10 blanks and 10 arrows in each gap, and you have to use appropriate punctuation mark. You have to use just an appropriate punctuation mark where it is necessary, and sometimes you may change the letter. Sometimes the letter may be capitalized, and that's you have to be serious in your study now, because it's very easy grammar, and if you're serious you will be able to get good marks in your coming exam. And before going to my class, I also would like to request everybody, because you are the first year learners, so your time is always passing. Though we are passing very critical situation, very crucial situation we are passing now, but time doesn't wait for anybody. It's always passing, so no one can get back his lost time. So you don't loitering your time, you don't waste your time, you don't just roam about here and there. You have to serious in study, and every lecture is very important, not especially in English class. All classes are important simultaneously, so you have to give concentration on every classes. Okay, what I am going to tell you now is about punctuation mark. Actually, I have told you that while speaking each other, just sometimes we have to take pause, or we have to change our tone, or even make a gesture so that the expression is clearer to the readers. And we have to use some symbols, and these symbols are called punctuation mark. Punctuation means the right use of putting points or stop in writing. We can't do without punctuation mark in writing, because writing will be obscured if we don't use any punctuation mark. Writing will be obscured, or we won't be able to understand writing clearly. Punctuation marks show when to slow down or stop, and they tell when to change direction in writing. When we use punctuation correctly, our readers will be able to understand what we have written. Actually, now I am telling you in Bangla clearly so that you can understand it. Punctuation হলো একটানা কথা বলতে বলতে মাঝে মাঝে আমরা থেমে যাই কিংবা দম নিয়ে থাকি। ঠিক তেমনি কোনো কিছু পড়ার সময় আমাদের মাঝে মাঝে থামতে হয় বা দম নিতে হয় বা ব্রেক নিতে হয়। যাই আমরা বলি, বাক্যের অর্থ সুস্পষ্ট করার জন্যে, বোঝাবার জন্যে বাক্যের কোথাও কতটুকু থামতে হবে তার কিছু সুনির্দিষ্ট নিয়ম আছে। এই নিয়মগুলোকে আমরা সাংকেতিকভাবে লিখি, আর এই নিয়মগুলোকেই বলা হয় পাংচুয়েশন মার্ক। অ্যাকচুয়ালি যখন আমরা বাংলা বলি বা ইংরেজি বলি, যখন কথা বলি কিংবা লিখি, আমরা মাঝে মাঝে দম নিয়ে থাকি, মাঝে মাঝে থামি, এবং কোথায় কতটুকু থামতে হবে তার কিছু এক্সপ্রেশন আমরা সাংকেতিক চিহ্ন ব্যবহার করে আমরা সাধারণত বোঝাতে চেষ্টা করি। এগুলাকে পাংচুয়েশন মার্ক, বাংলায় বিরাম চিহ্ন বলা হয়। Punctuation are the systems of sign and symbols that show a reader how a sentence is organized or constructed, how to pause and where to stop, how to read and how to write in a sentence. Punctuation are used to make the sense clearly, clarity in the sentences. Actually, without punctuation mark, we are unable to understand the expression of the writing, and that's why it's so important in writing English as well as spoken English also, but in written English is so important, because without punctuation mark we can't understand any kind of writing, and that's why it's so important. And in the exam, I think the every student will get 5 marks, because it carries 5 marks. So I think that every student will get 5 marks easily. Look at this and give concentration on the board. You can see here there is a text here, and there is no punctuation mark at first I use. You can see I was walking through a forest. I was walking through a forest, and suddenly I heard a roar. It was a tiger. I was afraid. I was afraid. And I was in a fix what to do. I asked myself what will do, or each I found no answer. So, if we use punctuation in this text, we have to know that before starting punctuation, we have to know the rules and regulation of punctuation, where we can use it. Actually, after ending the sentence in assertive, optative, or imperative, ending the sentence, we have to use full stop. And full stop is called period. In American English, full stop is called period, and British English it is called full stop, and American English it is called period. Look at this. I was walking through a forest. I was walking through a forest. Here, that is the assertive sentence, and that is the end of the sentence. That's why we have to use here full stop. Suddenly, anyway, however, moreover, furthermore, in addition to, that's why, that is the adverbial clause, or sometimes it's adverb, and sometimes it is used adverbial clause, and that's why whenever any kinds of adverb come first, we have to use comma. Note that whenever you can use any punctuation mark, you have to indicate it, giving underline under it. Whenever you can use any appropriate punctuation mark, you have to indicate it, giving underline. Suddenly I heard roar. Suddenly I heard roar. That is this is the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to use here full stop. I in the beginning of the sentence, after using full stop, another sentence will come. We have to change the first letter of the beginning of the sentence, and we have to change the letter into capitalization. আমাদেরকে এটাকে ক্যাপিটালাইজেশন করতে হবে. It was a tiger. It was a tiger. So we have to use full stop here, and again I is small letter here, and we have to turn it into capitalization. That's why I will be capitalized here. I was very afraid. I was very afraid. That's the sentence here, and that's why we have to use full stop. Again I. So that is the beginning of the sentence I. When we find I at the very beginning of the sentence, we have to capitalize it. I was in a fix what to do. I was in a fix what to do. What to do. That is the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to use full stop here. Again I. So I will be capitalized. First letter will be capitalized. I asked myself. আমি নিজেকে জিজ্ঞেস করলাম, what will you do? What will you do? We have to use inverted comma here. What will you do? Are is that is the narration of vocatives here. It's proper noun, and here just I, and this is aris, and that's why it's called narration of vocatives here. And if any vocatives come into the reported speech, we have to use comma before the vocatives. Before the vocatives, we have to use comma, and that's why we have to use comma here before vocatives. What will you do, Aris? So that is the interrogative sentence, and that's why before completing in inverted comma, we have to use interrogative point, note of interrogation, I mean interrogative point. Okay, I found no answer. I found no answer. আমি কোনো উত্তর খুঁজে পেলাম না. When the reporting verb is used before the after the reported speech, then we have to use full stop. So you have to use full stop here. I found no answer. I found no answer. So just now, I will say something about the rules of punctuation mark. First one is full stop or period. You know, full stop or period. So in American English it is called period, or in British English it is called full stop. So where we use full stop actually, there are some rules of using full stop, such as to write any abbreviation we have to use full stop, such as, look at this, S we have to use full stop in after every letters. After every letters we have to use full stop. Similarly, when you write M-A, after letters we have to use full stop. So any kinds of abbreviation, when abbreviation comes, we have to use full stop. And then to write any website address, mail address, we have to use full stop. Any kinds of mail address, such as I'm just writing my own mail number. @gmail.com. Any mail address or any mail addresses, whenever we can try to write, we have to use full stop. And then there is the major and the salient characteristics of using full stop is that after ending of sentences, assertive sentence, imperative sentence and operative sentence, I mean except interrogative or exclamatory, we have to use full stop. After ending of the sentence, we have to use full stop. Look at this. I was walking through a forest. I was walking through a forest. That is the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to use full stop here. Okay, now I will exercise another example which is very important and which has come several boards. There are 10 errors in the use of punctuation marks in the following test. Actually, in punctuation, you will get a text, and there are almost 10 errors in the text, and you have to rewrite it, correcting those errors. এই ভুলগুলোকে সংশোধন করে আমাদেরকে পাংচুয়েশনগুলো লিখতে হবে, and you have to be serious. To whenever you can use any punctuation mark, you have to indicate it, giving underline, you have to indicate it, otherwise you can't get good mark. How is your father, Rana? How is your father, Rana? So just you have to know that punctuation will come with two forms or two format. One is dialogue form, another is narrative form. You can find two format of punctuation mark, dialogue form and narrative form. So that is the narrative form. How is your father, Rana? How is your father, Rana? So how is your father? That is the interrogative sentence. So after the sentence we have to use interrogative mark. How is your father? In narrative style, whenever you can solve the text, you have to frequently use inverted comma before and after. Inverted comma you have to use before and after. What I am going to tell you now, repeated speech. After repeated speech, the before and after repeated speech, you have to use inverted comma. So, how is your father Rana? That is the repeated speech. How is your father? And so, first we have to use inverted comma because we have to complete the repeated speech using inverted comma. How is your father Rana? So Rana is the narration of vocatives here. It's a proper noun as well as it is the narration of vocatives here. So Rana first letter will be capitalized, and before Rana we have to use inverted comma because that is narration of vocatives. So how is your father, comma Rana? We have to use interrogative point, and then we complete the sentence using inverted comma. So how is your father Rana? Said Mr. Karim. Said Mr. Karim, that is the repeating verb. So if the inverted comma is used into the repeated speech, then we have to know that we have to give our concentration that if the repeated speech is assertive sentence, then before the repeating verb we have to use comma, and if it is used interrogative point, then we don't use comma. Said Mr. Karim. So said Mr. Karim, that is the repeating verb. So after repeating verb we have to use full stop here. Again, he is very well. Another speech is started from here. He is very well. So before starting the speech, we have to use the inverted comma. He is very well. Thank you. He is very well. Thank you. In the same repeated speech, thank you, and he is very well. So he is very well. Thank you. Thank you is another speech. So we have to use comma before thank you. He is very well. Thank you. And then we have to use inverted comma here, and as he is very well, thank you, as the sentence is assertive sentence, then before the inverted comma we have to use comma. He is very well, thank you. Just we have to just complete the sentence by giving the inverted comma before and after the repeated speech. And now, as that is the sentence is assertive, we have to use a comma before the repeating verb. So replied Rana. That is the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to use full stop here. Again, another repeated speech is started here. I am glad to hear that he is in good health. I am glad to hear that he is in good health. Another repeated speech is started from here, and that's why before writing any repeated speech we have to use inverted comma. I am glad to hear that he is in good health. He is in good health. That is the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to complete the sentence before and after giving the inverted comma, and that's why as the sentence is assertive, and so before repeating verb we have to use comma. We have to use comma before repeating verb as the sentence is assertive. I mean the repeated speech is assertive. So if repeating verb goes, if repeating verb is used after the repeated speech, then we have to use comma. Okay. Another example which also has come in different boards is excuse me. You can see that excuse me, I see, okay, thank you, by the by, anyway, or that's why, however, moreover, in addition, yes or no. In such words, whenever in dialogue form of punctuation mark or text, whenever we can make a dialogue each other, we have to frequently use excuse me, I see, very nice, thank you, no, yes. Okay, so we have to use comma or full stop after this word. Actually, in excuse me, when we use excuse me, when there is another statement, we have to use comma here. Or if we think that by excuse me or by thank you or I see, just I have completed the sentence, then we have to use full stop. And whenever we can use full stop, we have to be seriously, we have to know that we have to change the letter. We have to change the first letter. Actually, first letter will be capitalized whenever we can use any full stop. Excuse me, where is the hospital? Excuse me. So আমি এখানে এটাকে সেন্সটাকে কমপ্লিট করলাম, and that's why I have to use here full stop. Excuse me, where is the hostel? Where is the hostel? Where is the hostel? Where and is. So the sentence is interrogative, so we have to use the note of interrogation mark. Excuse me, where is the hostel? Aija. It's about 2 kilometers. It's about 2 kilometers. Have a look. It's about 2 kilometers. ITS is. I mean, we have to use here apostrophe. Why we will use here apostrophe? Because whenever any letter is omitted, instead of omitting letter, we have to use apostrophe. It's about. So it's I is omitted here. So instead of I, we have to use apostrophe here. So it's about 2 kilometers from here. It's about 2 kilometers from here. That's why, that's the end of the sentence. We have to use full stop here. You will have to hire a taxi. It's also the end of the sentence. So I have told you before that after ending the sentence, we have to use full stop except interrogative sentence and exclamatory sentence. You will have to hire a taxi. That's the end of the sentence, and that's why we have to use full stop here. You can also go by bus. That is also the ending point of the sentence, and that's why we have to use full stop here. And you have to know that whenever you can use any punctuation mark, you can indicate it, giving underline. I see. Whenever you can you know that eyes by using I see, you have to complete the sentence, then you can use full stop. Whenever you see that you know that just by I see I don't complete the sentence, then you can use comma here. I see, so you can use full stop here, or you can also comma here. Whenever you can use comma here, then you don't change the letter into capitalization. I see, is there a bus? And whenever you can use full stop here, then you have to change the first letter of the sentence into capitalization. I see. Is there a bus? Is there a bus? Is there a bus? Is there a bus station near here? Is there এখানে কোনো bus station ছিল? Aija, yes. So yes and no. If whenever there is another statement after after the yes or no, when there is another statement, then we have to use comma. Yes, there is another statement. There is a bus station at the corner. So yes, after yes and no, we have to use comma if there is another statement, or if there is no another statement, we have to use full stop. So yes, there is a bus station at the corner. Yes, there is a bus station at the corner. So as there is another statement, so we have to use comma after the yes or no. Thank you sentence is completed, and that's why we have to use full stop. Thank you. Don't mention it. So look at this. D-O-N apostrophe. We have to use here apostrophe. Why we will use an apostrophe here? Because N-O-T not O is omitted here. When any letter is omitted, instead of omitting letter, we have to use apostrophe, and that's why we have to use apostrophe here. Don't mention it. don't mention it, and that's why we have to use full stop here, because that is the end of the sentence. So now we'll discuss the rules of punctuation mark. Previously I have told you about the some rules and regulations of full stop. Now I will discuss about comma. You know, comma is very important and it's so complicated also. সাধারণত কমা আমরা এক গুনতে গুনতে যতটুকু সময় লাগে কমার ব্যবহারটাও ততটুকু, অর্থাৎ কমার ব্যবহার স্বল্প বিরতির জন্য ব্যবহৃত হয়। আমরা সাধারণত স্বল্প বিরতি যদি নিতে চাই, কোনো কিছুতে স্বল্প বিরতি নিতে চাইলে কমা ব্যবহৃত হবে। তো কমা সাধারণত আমরা জানি যে সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজ এবং প্রিন্সিপাল ক্লজ, প্রিন্সিপাল এবং সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজকে আলাদা করতে, আই মিন যখন সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজ আগে বসে, সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজ যখন আগে আসে তখন অবশ্যই মাঝখানে কমা বসাতে হবে। লুক এট দিস, if you study hard you can make a good result. Look at this, if you study hard, that is the subordinate clause, and so as the subordinate clause comes first, and that's why you have to use comma here. After subordinate clause you have to comma, before principal clause you have to use comma. As I am ill, I will not go to college. As I am ill, that is the subordinate clause, as I am ill, and so after subordinate clause we have to use comma, or before principal clause we have to use comma. As I am ill, যেহেতু আমি অসুস্থ, I will not go to college, আমি কলেজে যেতে পারবো না, so we have to use comma here. So how can we know a subordinate clause? Actually, if we use unless, though, although, if, as, since, when, if we use such kind of word, and that is makes subordinate clause. Such word, such conjunction makes subordinate clause. Okay, now we'll just discuss about the use of apostrophe. It's also important. Apostrophe. Apostrophe. I mean, যদি কোনো কমা আমরা উপরে ব্যবহার করি তাকেই বলা হয় apostrophe. So when we will where we will use apostrophe? Actually, to omit any kinds of letter. If we try to omit any kind of letter, we have to use apostrophe instead of the omitting letter. Omitting letter এর পরিবর্তে of course we have to use apostrophe. Look at this. I'm well. So A is omitted here, so instead of A we have to use apostrophe here. I'm well. Similarly, কোনো মালিকানা বোঝাতে, I mean just possession, কোনো মালিকানা বোঝাতে we have to use apostrophe. আমরা যদি কোনো জিনিসের নিজের মালিকানা বোঝাই তাহলে apostrophe ব্যবহার করতে হবে. Look at this. Doctor's chamber. Doctor's chamber, ডাক্তারের চেম্বার. Professor's house. Professor's house. প্রফেসরের বাড়ি. So now gradually we have reached the 11th hour actually, and just now I'm going to complete my teaching now. Actually, before completing my teaching, I would like to say something about I will motivate you. Actually, In English, it's so important to learn English, and the first and foremost reason of learning English is to communication, and that's why we don't just we don't pass our time wantonly. We don't roam here and there. We have to be serious in our study, because though we are passing very critical situation, but very crucial situation, but time is passing on, and that's why no one can get back his lost time. And that's why I would like to request all of you to attend every classes, because our government is so benevolent government, is so people oriented government, and they dictated us to organize online classes so that our students don't lag behind. And so our government is always thinking about the greater interest of the learners, and that's why they arrange online classes. So I would like to request every learners, as you're the new fresher, as you're the newcomers, and as you don't get any classroom teaching, so don't frustrate it. You have to attend online classes regularly, and you will be attentive listener, and you have to be careful, attentive, and so that you can learn something from our lecture. And every class is so important simultaneously, and that's why you don't miss any classes. And I would like to request you to just to study English more and more, because you don't study English only for passing. You have to study English for communication, because this is the first and foremost aim of a study, to learn English only for communication, nothing else. Because every student may pass. It's very easy for passing, but it's very complex to communication, because you know that just from 1 to degree classes we are studying English, but we are unable to speak, we are unable to communication, just to run any kinds of business, or to communicate at a worldwide communication, or to understand the language of ICT, or to understand to understand the language of the foreigners, we have to learn English, because English help us to get good result, and to get good salary, to get good job. It's a prestigious language, and that's why you have to be serious, and that is your motto, that is your aim, that I will learn English not for passing but for communication. Thank you for everybody for watching my class. Stay well, stay safe, and I would like to request you to enjoy all the classes simultaneously. Thank you very much.